Hi folks, welcome back to Physics with Captain Rod. I'm making this video here to introduce everyone here to a concept called energy. Now, when I teach energy methods, I always start with a concept of work. So hopefully you've seen my previous video on work. If you haven't, I would suggest you go back and do so before moving on to this video. I'm going to do just a real quick overcap here. Work, right, in physics, work is force times distance. And there's some details here. The force has to be parallel to the distance for work to be done. And work is positive when the force is in the direction of motion. Work is negative when it's in the opposite direction. It has units of Newton meters. Just an important conceptual thing for this video is when is work being done. So work is done whenever there is a force applied and the object or the system moves in the direction of that force, either with it or against it, like parallel to the force. So basically work is done when you push or pull on an object and it moves. Now, I'd like everyone now to focus on these three pictures right here. We'll start with young Timmy here. So Timmy, is an entity here in this picture, and Timmy has the ability to do work, right? Timmy could, for example, lift this basketball. He could apply a force upward on it, and then the ball might move up to maybe here, and now Timmy has done work. So somehow Timmy has the ability to do this concept called work. But look here, this picture right here, we got an automobile. And the engine in this automobile presumably is up front here. And the automobile engine has the ability to do work as well. If a driver gets in there, gives it the gas, what will happen is the wheel starts turning, and that applies a force to the car. And that force will be in this direction. That's an example of what we call frictional force, assuming the car is on a surface that will allow it to generate that force. And then when the car starts moving, there's the work being done, force times distance. Right? Another example, a rocket. So a rocket has what we call a rocket engine, and the engine's job basically is to create a force which is upward on the rocket. And then when the rocket starts moving, there's work being done. So all of these systems have something in common here. All of them have the ability to do work. Another thing that they all have in common is this. They all have to have some sort of, I'll just say for now, input to their system that allows them to do this. So for example, getting back to Timmy here. Timmy probably ate his Wheaties in the morning. In fact, all living people have the ability to do work. But in order to have that ability, they constantly have some sort of input via the form of food. In the case of the automobile engine, this car probably has a gas tank somewhere, and you have to put gas into the system here, which gets fed into the motor, giving it the ability to do work. Same thing with the rocket here. The rocket engine runs off some sort of fuel. So all of these have some sort of input, and that input is what we call energy. And here's how it's defined in physics, or at least how I define it. Energy is defined as ability to do work. So in the case of Timmy, the energy is coming from food that he takes in every day, or presumably every day. In the case of the automobile engine, gasoline basically is the energy input of the car, and same thing for the rocket engine. So energy is this quantity that gives a system the ability to do work, or in other words, to push or pull on something. Some important concepts about energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed, right? Energy is not something that mankind creates. If you think about like a power plant, a typical power plant, like, I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan here, and close to Kalamazoo is a power plant called Palisades Nuclear Power Plant. Palisades Nuclear Power Plant does not create energy. What it does is it converts energy from one form to the other. In the case of Palisades, the energy input is in the form of uranium. A lot of power plants run off of combustion of fossil fuels, like maybe natural gas or sometimes coal. All power plants have some sort of energy input. They do not create energy. They convert energy from one form to another. Energy is this quantity that, it isn't destroyed or created. It's a quantity that, for lack of a better way to put it, just kind of flows through the universe, kind of going from one form to another. It does have what's called a quality associated with it, and I think I'll save that for another video. For now, it's important to realize it's not created or destroyed. Mankind does not create energy. We just convert energy from one form to another. Most of the energy that we use on this planet, most of it ultimately backtracks to the sun. And I made a, that's what these pictures are about here. This T-Rex here is just representing some sort of top tier predator. And then we have kind of middle tier predators, right? And then we have kind of bottom tier animals. If you think about this T-Rex here, the T-Rex has energy. And if we kind of backtrack it, where does it come from? Well, the T-Rex eats the giant lizard here. Well, where did the giant lizard get the energy? Well, or crocodile or whatever this is. Maybe this crocodile ate something like a lamb or a sheep, right? And where did the sheep get the energy? Well, the sheep ultimately ate a green plant. And where did the green plant get its energy? Well, that came from the sun. And green plants basically absorb sunlight, so that the sunlight that is bathed down on the earth carries energy. The green plants convert that to I'll just say for now, a molecular energy. They build big complex molecules. The lower tier predators here, they consume this and use that energy to do various things. And you have these middle tier creatures that eat these guys, and then these guys eat these guys, and so forth. So most of the energy that we use on this planet is derived from the sun. All of the fossil fuel energies are all derived from the sun. That's all, long extinct plant and animal matter that ultimately got its energy from the sun. There are energies on the planet, though, that did not come from the sun. The nuclear. So, like nuclear power plants typically use uranium or sometimes plutonium. Nuclear derived energies are not from our sun, and I'll make another video about that. So the purpose of this video here is just to be an introduction to the concept of energy. This is what energy is. It's the ability to do work. And I think what I'll do is just end that video here and make another one to start talking about it in more detail. Right? Hope this video helps. Have a great day.